What's up, you guys? My name is Preston James, and you're listening to The Reflection, where we do just that for ourselves and our community so that we may lead a healthier, more positive, and productive lifestyle. What's up, everybody? I hope you all are doing amazing. I really, truly do. I hope you are smiling. I hope you are going through life, dealing with challenges with ease, hopefully. Challenges nonetheless, right? They build us to make us stronger, but I really hope that everyone is doing good and that we are keeping it moving. Hopefully you got a chance to listen to my previous episode. I always say that. I always say the same thing. I hope you guys got a chance to digest some of the last few episodes or any of the episodes, and I really, truly hope that it has helped you in some way, shape, or form. That's why I do these. Even if I have one listener, I hope that it helps you, which is not true, but I encourage you to reach out. Let me know how everything's going. Again, you can reach out to me on Instagram at @thereflection_PJ. You can reach out to my Gmail, thereflection.pj, or on YouTube where I post the videos. They're kind of like videos of these episodes at @thereflection_PJ as well. So this episode 17, this is going to be a short one. It's, I thought that it was kind of one of those episodes that's very straight to the point, that didn't need a lot of explanations and quotes and further analysis. It just is. The very simple statement of, what do you do when you feel stuck, when you're feeling stuck? We all feel stuck. We all get stuck. We don't know how to get out of it sometimes. No matter what people tell us, no matter how you feel, you just feel stuck. We have all felt stuck at some point in time, like sinking in quicksand, while our goals and dreams drift further and further away. But the truth is, you only need one thing to keep going. Can anybody guess what that is? Anybody? That's right. I heard you in the back. That's motion. All you need is motion. All you need is love. Motion. Even the smallest of actions can create a spark that sets everything else in motion. It's just beginning. It's just starting. Like the quote I've said before, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. You have to start. You have to begin. Otherwise, you really are going to stay stuck. And if these are things, especially with the things that you want to really pursue and achieve. And if you don't know what those are, all the more reason to start doing something to find out what those are. We talked about that last episode. Start doing different things to find out what it is. Because I know a lot of us end up in these spots in our lives and we fill it with our kids, which is not a bad thing, but we just fill that kind of void in us with our families and family time and our work, our jobs, and we don't really go much further than that. But you got to start doing other things and taking risks and chances to see what those things could be. You got to see what they could be, what the possibilities are for you. So, to get an idea of where this idea comes from and how it starts, or lack thereof, let's talk about some common reasons why we get stuck or how we get stuck. One of them being we overthink. Overthinking. We're waiting for that perfect time. You overthink this. I overthink this. But let's be honest, there's no perfect time. I had that discussion before I moved out to LA with this psychologist I worked with. She wants to open her own practice, and she was like, it's just not the right time. I've heard so many people say that. And we make so many excuses with that blanket statement for so many different things that it's sad to me. Because when I hear someone say that, at least now, in the last few months, moving forward as well, obviously, I just go, oh yeah, I hear you. I'm not going to just try to convince somebody. Hopefully they get inspired. But overthinking is a huge one. Fear is another big one. Fear of failure, fear of looking foolish or silly, or even not being good enough, not feeling like you're good enough. Or the other side to that coin of not feeling like you're good enough is meeting unreal expectations. That's the downside to social media and Hollywood and just media in general, is that we feel like people live these types of, I don't even know, unreal lifestyles. We think that this curated, made up expose of pictures and videos is how people live their daily lives, and they're not like the rest of us. But we know deep down that that's not true. Every single person struggles with something or multiple things, deals with things, right? A lot of people think that money takes care of all that. That's not true. Talked to a lady the other day that said, I was like, oh, do you want to make some more extra money? And she was like, I do, but it's not the biggest concern. And then she went on to basically say, because the more money I have and the more money I get, the more I spend. And I thought she kind of hit that right on the head. I was talking to Vanessa the other day, and she also was like, I said something where I was buying a bunch of stuff, and she was like, and my mom has said this before to me as well, but she's like, you just got to make sure you spend every dollar, don't you? Got to figure out where it's going, what you're going to do with it. And I don't know, those things just kind of hit me recently with that. But these unreal expectations and meeting those. Anyways, moving forward, another one, the third one I want to talk about is being overwhelmed. So we have overthinking things, the fear of things, being overwhelmed, where we have too many goals, too much noise in our head and around us, or just kind of another blanket statement of just an unclear direction. I think it's okay to not really have a direction like I've talked about recently and just start doing stuff. But as you start doing those things, a path starts to form. And if you don't focus on one or two things, you start focusing on multiple things, and then it becomes overwhelming, and then you don't even know what direction you're headed in anymore because you've tried to disperse yourself in so many different directions that it's not possible for any person to do, right? And sometimes, again, we see other people do things, or at least we think we see them do certain things a certain way, and it's like, why can't I do that? But the truth is, again, that if you're not talking to that person and watching them go through certain things and do certain things, you have no idea how that's really going or what's really happening. Just remember that. And the other reason I want to talk about is burnout. Burnout. Exhaustion from doing too much. And exhaustion from doing too much with no real joy or clarity with things. When you have burnout with this, it's like, especially with things that aren't fun, it's hard. You really do get stuck in a position where you're like, I don't even know what to do anymore. Burnout. That's a big one for a lot of people. Overthinking, right? These are all common things and areas that we all get stuck in and with and around. But as I tell Vanessa, the biggest thing with a lot of these things is identifying it, being aware of it, right? That's the first step. The second step is taking action, which brings us back full circle to the point of all this and being stuck. And action is being in motion, taking action, doing something about it. So the next question would be, how do we get that mindset shift? How do we switch it? How do we change it? I'll tell you one thing. You don't think your way into acting. That's for sure. You're not going to think your way into acting. You act your way into thinking clearly. I'm going to say that again for some of you. You don't think your way into acting. You act your way into thinking clearly. Kind of like I just mentioned. First step is being aware. Second step is taking action or putting things in motion. That is to say, you don't need to feel ready to begin. Again, people wait for that perfect time. People wait for that mood, quote unquote, I'm doing air quotes, that mood to strike. You're waiting. And we all know what that feeling is. I'm going to wait till I feel good to quit this. I'm going to wait till I get that feeling again to quit this. I'm going to wait till I get that feeling again to start this. How often does that really happen? Truly, be honest with yourself. You don't have to be honest with anybody else. It's your life, but be honest with yourself. Some of the most successful people build this momentum, this motion, through action first. Stop overthinking it and just do it. Just take the first step. The first step of 1,000 miles, or the first step. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Take that first step. So another thing you may be asking, oh, Preston, you got all the answers. Well, what are some of the practical steps you could offer, Preston? How can I take this to the next level? How can I apply this to my journey? Well, good question. Very good question. You could do the 2-minute rule. I found this out. It's a really good one. I've done this throughout my life, not knowing exactly what it was called. But the 2-minute rule, you choose a task that takes 2 minutes or less to begin, and you do it. You just do it. Right? Again, the idea, full circle, is being stuck. You're waiting for this perfect time. Do something for 2 minutes. Do something, look up something for 2 minutes. Try it. 2 minutes. That's 2 minutes. That's it. And just see what happens from there. Set a timer if you have to. Just begin. Just act. Set it in motion. Build the momentum. You could write the first sentence of a blog post, maybe. You can do a lot of things in 2 minutes. You could just open your laptop and put a title to a document if you're writing something. You could put your workout clothes on the bed. That takes 2 minutes. That's a big one for some of us, going to the gym and working out. I could open my laptop, open Ableton or Pro Tools, and put in a kick drum, start a beat, and just see what happens. Ideally, this type of approach shrinks what would otherwise feel like a daunting task into a very, like a non-threatening type of small action, right? Whatever it is you're thinking about, the working out, the writing a book, the writing their blog post, to making a song, to painting a picture, to whatever it is, break it up into 2-minute increments and just start there. Don't think about the whole project. Just say, let me see what I can get done in 2 minutes. You could also, another practical step would be, you could also create a win journal. Every night, grab a sticky or journal and write down one to three wins from the day, no matter how small. I think that is the most important part and takeaway from that. Write it down, no matter how small. Whatever wins you've had throughout the day, write them down. A win is a win. A dub is a dub. And you focus on that. You relook at it, you reapproach it, maybe after a week or a couple days, and you focus on what's working. Not what's missing, which a lot of us do. I could be doing this, I could be doing that, but focus on the positive, focus on the good. Focus on what is working. I had to do this 2 days ago. Matter of fact, let me say this. I waited to do this episode, this podcast, until I felt like doing it. I didn't even put it in motion. I had it written down. I wrote it out because I do one or two drafts of how I'm going to talk about these topics and things and what I'm going to say, so on and so forth. And I waited for the right moment. And then a song or two that I was doing recently did the same thing. I was waiting until something struck me about how I was going to deal with this kind of EQ and compression for this vocal I was trying to get to fit in this beat. And at the end of the day, the vocals sound great. They really do. A little over compressed, but they sound great. They sound really good. I'm the one who only hears those very minute, small differences that I think matter a lot, which they do to me, but other people won't hear them, and the song still sounds good. I don't always think the artists I work with that their music goes with the beat or the song, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't work. Like my opinion, like it still sounds, every artist I've worked with, in my opinion, sounds good. They sound decent. They really do. There's some skills, some better than others in my opinion, but my point is, I'm getting lost there. My point is that you focus on what's working. Just like I said with this, I didn't put it in motion. I put it in motion. I knew that I knew that the vocals sounded good. So instead of sitting around waiting for something to happen or something to strike me, I just sat down and did it and pumped it out. And then once I printed the mix, which basically just means that I exported it from my computer and listened to it on my phone and put it in my car and on my headphones, I was like, oh, this sounds pretty good. Right? That wasn't going to happen if I was just sitting there. Right? Nothing really ever does. Unless you're a lottery winner and you were sitting on your couch, which would also be nice. I would love to talk about that if I won a lottery. Would love to. But it doesn't matter. Let me get back to the questions at hand or the practical steps at hand. Another one is you can set a micro goal. A smaller version of a bigger goal. Instead of writing your book, an example would be instead of writing your book, aim to write for 5 minutes a day. 5 minutes. Instead of get fit, instead of get in shape immediately, start out with maybe even 10 squats a day. Just 10 squats. In your mind, you're probably like, that doesn't even matter. It won't even make a difference. The difference will be your mind shift, your change of thinking on a daily basis, your routine of getting your 10 squats in, and then it's 20, then it's 30, and then it's a run, then squats, then it's push-ups, squats, and then a run, and then it's so on and so forth, and you're building. Instead of staying stuck in that rut, that quicksand, and you're sinking, you're building momentum. You're staying in motion. You're doing something. You're taking action. The idea behind all of this is that momentum comes from completion. It's not size of things. It comes from completion of things. Like I just said, it's not that you didn't have this amazing, huge workout. It's that you started doing something. You started gaining momentum. You took action. You did 10 squats, then you did 20. Watch how the snowball effect takes effect. Watch. I promise you, it will work. Especially if you're writing these things down, that also makes you feel good about yourself and the things that you've done throughout the day. Because we have to pat ourselves on the back sometimes because other people don't always do that. So make sure you please love yourself and appreciate yourself and pat yourself on the back. Please. You also need to eliminate noise and distractions. There's people, I talk about this on almost every podcast. There's people in your lives who are negative. You need to get them out of your circle. I'm not saying disassociate necessarily with these people, but if they're that negative and it weighs you down and you know that it weighs you down, you need to figure something out. Otherwise, that's on you. We all know people who are like that, who always like down talk or downplay anything that you do or always criticize what you say or how you look at something. And if people do that in your life, those, in my opinion, are not your friends. I step myself back from any and everybody who do that in my life. Right? At first, maybe the first couple things, maybe not, you're feeling it out. But after a while, it's consistent. You know those people. But you need to eliminate that noise, eliminate those distractions from your focus, from your goal, from building your momentum. Maybe turn off your phone notifications if you're going to try to do something specific, like in that 2-minute little window. Unfollow problematic or unmotivating accounts on Instagram and YouTube and even Spotify. People that are unmotivating and negative, unfollow those accounts. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. Unfollow them, please. Organize your workspace area. Organize the area that you work. For me, it's my studio. I have a little desk at home, but I organize that as much as I can. But organize your work area, your workspace, your workout room, whatever it is. But I also want you to focus on the celebrations. Small rewards for actions that you take. Celebrations. If you write 100 words on your book that you're trying to write, maybe you write 100 words. Maybe you celebrate by getting yourself a coffee. Or if you complete a small task, I finish a song, I print the song, I get to order ice cream, which is the last thing I need to be doing right now. I think I'm the heaviest I've been since I was like 19 years old. It's crazy. It's crazy. That's a whole other issue for myself. But my point is that you need to reward yourself. I think the biggest trick, like a trick here, is that, and you can look this up by all means, please do, is that the trick is that your brain releases dopamine for these completed tasks. Your brain, if you complete a task, your brain releases this dopamine of like this good feeling of motivating energy. And that dopamine, that feeling reinforces that forward motion. Again, building momentum. Look that up. Reinforce that. Complete a task. Again, even a 2-minute drill, 2-minute window of something. Complete small tasks. We got to get out of this area of stuckness. I really advise you and encourage you to do any of these little things to help you get out of that sand pit with whatever it may be. Even if you have to build like a motivating, which some of us already have, but like a motivating or a momentum-based playlist. You can make one that puts you in that go and get it mood. Or choose the songs that like trigger that positive action and high energy mood that make you want to get shit done. Make one of those playlists. Spend that time. Do 2 minutes by looking up a song. A lot of times we'll look these things up or start writing something or start building something or whatever it is in those 2 minutes, and it will turn into like an hour or 30 minutes. And before you know it, we've built the momentum and we are on our way. But overall, I want to say that being stuck doesn't mean you're broken. It means you've paused. And every pause is a chance to reset. And remember, start small. Start small. Don't overwhelm yourself. Don't have that fear. Don't get burned out. Start small. But also, stay consistent. Let your actions, not your feelings, guide you, and the momentum and motion will come. Love you guys. Hope you all have a great week, great weekend whenever you're listening to this. More to come. I have a couple of other episodes lined up. We'll see if I get unstuck from that of not putting it out every week and see how that goes. But more to come. Again, I always appreciate you guys tuning in to listen to the reflection and making our lives better, becoming a better version of ourselves. All right, you guys, be safe, and I'll talk to you soon.